Right, what's going on, people? It's myself, Drapes, Mixtape Project, Managing Director, and I'm going to do a little tutorial for you today and let you in on a few of the secrets that make the Mixtape Project what it is today. Now, what we have here is a Logic project, Logic 9. What I do, I put a template on. So first of all, I've got track 1. I always put a BPM counter on there. See, what the BPM counter will help you to do is not only slot in, like say for instance you wanted to move one of these tracks over, like say you had the chorus here and you've got like a verse and you've got another space for the chorus, you'd be able to put the chorus over here nice and easy because the tempo is slotted in, if that makes any sense. But all become apparent throughout this tutorial. Now, next track we got the main vocal track. Yeah, what I do, I put a silver compressor on there. I like the silver compressor because it fattens up the dynamics of the sound of the voice, so it makes it all level. I then put channel EQ, which I dip out the bottom end of the vocal. So if I solo this vocal now, you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about. So that's the bassy part of his voice. Sometimes. So yeah, basically I just put it around here to take out just a little bass part of his voice because we don't want that clashing with the beat. Now next, underneath that I put on a limiter, which kind of levels it out. So the compressor boosts the frequencies, the EQ takes out the bottom part of the frequencies, and the limiter just kind of smooths it out. That's how I like to look at it anyway. So yeah, next track is the stabs. This is how I like to record: main, stabs, and then ad-libs. So stabs, I'll type that in there, always helps. Main. Now the stabs, you don't want them interfering too much with the main vocal, especially when you've got people listening to your music in headphones and stuff like that. So I basically make it dip behind the main vocal, yeah. And the way I do that, it's got the same kind of setting, same setting as the main vocal. So you got the silver compressor, EQ, and the limiter. But then I put a sample delay because a lot of sound engineers, they'll record 2 different sets of stabs. They'll pan one to the left and I'll pan one to the right. Instead of doing that, I just put a sample delay, which kind of does that for me with one vocal. Because if you put stabs one on one side, so if you put the same track, yeah, like this for instance, and say you was to double it and put it on another track, if you wanted to put one to the left and one to the right, it wouldn't do anything but sound exactly the same, sound louder. Yeah, it would sound exactly the same. So because it does it like an offset, it creates kind of like a delay, and it makes it sound as if you've got 2 different vocals coming out the side. So that's why I use that sample delay. Yeah, right. Now the third track I use is for the what I will call the ad-libs. because a lot of sound engineers, you know, they call it different. Sometimes they call the stabs the ad-libs. I called ad-libs the little hypes that you do in between, yeah, which are these, yeah. So I mean, yeah. So with these now, I use the same kind of formula: silver compressor, channel EQ, and limiter. But the difference between this track and others is that the ad-libs, I take out more of the bottom end, so it sits within the mix of the other two tracks nicely, yeah. So you got, I'm gonna bring up all the EQ tracks here, so you know what I'm talking about. So you got the main, yeah. You got the stabs, and then you got the ad-libs. Let me type in ad-libs here. Right. So you got the ad-libs, yeah, here. Now, if I solo all three of them, you'll see what I mean. 1996 is I was born. Implements me. Ever since the room I've been a freshest in the meat. But to get to where I'm at, you need a hammer, bar, a key. Cause the door is never open on the youth so young as me. And I can see them hating individuals below pedestal. Like the living, trying to take it in feds and criminals. Never been afraid to speak my mind. No subliminals. I'm here to take the phone, never something for less. Nothing that's meant to move away. Yeah, so you see the stabs are blended in with the main vocal, and this track, the ad-libs, don't interfere with these because it's got its own frequency range, and that's up here. Yeah, so what I mean, rather than it being the same. Yeah, so it's like as loud. There's a lot of Stars P mixtapes that you might hear where he's got the ad-lib the same volume as the rest of it. Now, I don't really particularly rate that, but you know, that was you know the way that they recorded it in it. Poobs and them man there, that's what they do. But this is the new school, so you know we like to pick out the mistakes and learn from them. So yeah, basically they're the three tracks, they're the main tracks, that's the formula. Now what I do now, in order to have more control, I will chop up these vocals. Now I could sit it all day going like this, yeah. All day doing this. Yeah, certain people I know, like the guys at Unit 10, they use a gate, yeah, which is doing the same kind of thing, because obviously in the space of here, you've got, it dips it, so you got nothing there, gives it a space, yeah, yeah. But what I would do, Control X, and it brings up this, and it does it all for you, yeah. So remember that's Control X, and I do the same on the ad-libs, yeah. Bam, one time, yeah. So what this gives you, if you've got some other parts that aren't exactly in line, like you can see here, you can move them in line, yeah, you can move them in line. And you can also, if you grab the end of here, make sure that the mouse is on the end and you get that icon there. If you press it, hold Alt, it will change to kind of a wave kind of icon, and you can stretch it out to make it even fit a bit more underneath, yeah. So it sounds like, so it's like a jigsaw kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, see what I mean? So that's how I like to work. I like to go in and actually make sure that each part is fit snug underneath, yeah. I'll do that here. Hold down Alt, yeah. So when I every time I press Alt, it does that. Press Alt, and then drag it. Yeah, bam. You know, move it a bit more neatly underneath this part here. Do you know what I mean? I don't even need to listen to it right now because I can see what it's doing. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically a little description of how we do things at the Mixtape project. Yeah. Now I'm gonna play it and just go along, and you can see what I do. Yeah. And I usually put this on the ad-lib track because it's the intro. Right, so you see how I've put it onto the ad-lib track and it's got an echo. Instead of putting the echo on actual inserts, I'd send them in. So if it was a fresh track, for instance, let me take these off. Yeah, if it was a fresh track, you go to send bus, right? Then if none of these were on there, so for instance on a fresh one, bus 4, it would come up directly automatically to the right of that. So then you draw for the echo, put your echo in. Usually I'd go for like 4 or 2 depending on the speed of the track. And then here you've got more control over how much echo is affecting this track. So if I put this down here, yeah, so I can just turn it down, that sits calm there. Yeah, so yeah, I can get rid of that now because I was just showing you. So basically, yeah, and you can do the same with the reverb. Yeah, so that's basically what I've done here. I've gone here, bus, put the reverb on track on bus 2. Yeah, and then I put the reverb here. It's already there, obviously, but this is how you'd find it. And then what I do with the reverb, you can see I got a channel EQ there. So I take out the bottom end so that all that is getting affected is the high parts. Because when you've got the reverb affecting the bottom end, it sounds too muddy. See? So as I've sent more in, you can see it. You didn't see it in the first place. You can see it getting affected now. Yeah? And the thing is, you don't know, sometimes you don't even know what's basically getting affected, yeah, on the bottom end of the reverb. So you just take it out because it's not meant to be there. It will clash. Yeah, you want to give everything its own space. Alright, so yeah, basically from here on, I just carry on playing it. I can do the same thing. Control Alt, calm. I'm gonna send in some reverb. What I'll do is name the reverb track. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so if I wanted to send some delay in now, because I've renamed it, it's here. I know exactly where it is. And I can send in a bit of delay, stereo delay. Give it a bit more room ambience. So yeah, basically that's just a little tutorial. Look out for part 2. Mixtape project. You know, we do this thing. Peace.